Tantor Audio, a division of Recorded Books, presents The Hormone Secret. Discover effortless weight loss and renewed energy in just 30 days. By Tami Meraglia, MD. Narrated by Angela Dawe. Introduction. Have you gained weight in recent years, even though your eating habits and activity level haven't changed? Has your waist expanded along with your jean size? Do you wake in the morning more tired than you were when you went to bed? Do you crash at 3 p.m. every day, barely keeping your drooping eyes open? Are your arms flabby despite regular workouts with weights and machines at the gym? Do you notice memory problems and loss of focus? A feeling that you're losing your edge? Do you have osteoporosis or osteopenia? Patients over 40 tell me almost daily that they've gone to the doctor because they have such symptoms. They're tired and cranky. They don't sleep well or care much about sex. They're not as sharp as they used to be. They've added pounds and lost muscle. They make an appointment for a physical exam and a series of blood tests, and the results fall in the range of normal. The doctor says you're fine and suggests an antidepressant or sleeping pills or both. Yet these women don't feel fine. I am an MD, board certified in natural medicine and an expert in hormone and aesthetic medicine. When patients come to my clinic in Seattle, Washington for help, I tell them normal is a setting on a dryer, not an accurate description of your state of health. These patients simply don't have a condition or disease that is associated with a code that can be billed to insurance. Sometimes they're even diagnosed as the worried well. Yes, there is a code for that. But the absence of disease does not equal wellness. Optimal health includes energy and vitality and true prevention of conditions associated with aging. You don't need to accept the slow decline of energy, mental clarity, and zest for life as the years go by. You don't have to accept waking up at 2 a.m. unable to go back to sleep. It isn't normal. I don't want you to feel fine. I want you to feel fabulous. And I'm going to show you how. How did we get here? Chalk it up to the great hormone decline. The fact is, women's quality of life has changed dramatically in recent decades. Yes, we've been freed to achieve and realize our dreams as never before. But the educational and career opportunities and the choices we now have in how and when we build our families all come at a price. We're drowning in our increased responsibilities and the pressures of our multiple roles. We've also been slammed by a major blow to our hormone levels. It's a fact of life that hormone levels naturally decline as part of menopause and the aging process. Our mothers and grandmothers experienced these changes as well. But over the last 30 years, these levels have dropped much earlier in women's lives and to a greater degree than ever before. Research shows that hormone levels now decrease 30% to 50% between the ages of 20 and 40 alone. The result is an onslaught of hormone imbalances and deficiencies that weaken our ability to look, feel, and function at our best. This hormone loss has accelerated in part due to the explosion of stress in our lives and to enormous environmental changes. Since the end of World War II, more than 20,000 chemicals and other agents have been introduced into the environment and into our food system. You've heard about and read about it, yet chances are you haven't realized the extent of these changes. Most of the cleaning supplies under your sink contain chemicals that negatively affect your hormone levels. Hormones are put into poultry and cattle to fatten them up before they go to market, and that directly affects you. Pesticide residue on fruits and vegetables has an impact on your hormone levels. Chemicals used in canned goods and plastic containers throw off your hormones. All of these are called hormone disruptors, or xenobiotics. Over time, they cause your hormone levels to drop faster than they ordinarily would. But the number one culprit above all the rest is stress. Stress is like a little Pac-Man running through your bloodstream, eating all your hormones. Stress and the inflammation it creates depletes your hormones and encourages development of diseases, including cancer. Our 24/7 lifestyle and the ever-changing world we live in has taken a huge toll. We have heavier workloads, and even our play is not restorative. Our cell phones and iPhones and the demands they make accompany us on vacations at the beach, to the dinner table at meals, and sometimes even in bed. How many of us check our emails before getting out of bed in the morning? I know I am guilty. We have no true breaks. No wonder our bodies are exhausted. I've written this book to tell you about a true secret weapon that changes everything. It's one particular hormone that's the missing link to a better body, brain, and life. You won't believe the difference it can make. That hormone is testosterone. I'm not talking about taking this hormone. I'm talking about using nutrition, lifestyle changes, and supplements available over the counter to lose weight, look and feel great, and perform at your best. By following my 30-day plan, you actually can have enough testosterone in your body without medication, and the results are dramatic. What are hormones anyway? If you're like most women, you probably know very little about hormones, which can make or break the quality of your life after 40. It's my job to educate you and demystify hormones, which are chemical messengers that control or regulate metabolism and many other body functions and affect almost all organs. Deficiencies and imbalances in hormones make an impact on everything from your brain and cardiovascular system to your energy level, sleep cycle, skin, weight, sex life, and even your hair and nails. Hormones perform a lot like a symphony, where one instrument off key can ruin the entire performance. If the level of one hormone is too low or too high, it affects the functioning of other hormones. For optimal health, your hormones must be restored to balance. The key hormones for women include the big three: estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone, and certain others. Estrogen and progesterone are known as the sex hormones for women, and levels of both drop dramatically in perimenopause and menopause. Estrogen deficiency causes hot flashes and night sweats, dries up your sex life, literally, and affects memory and mood. Low estrogen levels also cause irritability and can wreck your sense of well-being. Progesterone is the peaceful hormone. It calms you, reduces anxiety, and helps you sleep. Low levels of progesterone drain your energy and can cause anger control problems and frustration. Testosterone, my special focus in this book, is known as the male hormone. But you have a small quantity of testosterone in your body too, although men's levels are 20 times higher. That minimal amount you do have packs a powerful punch, playing an outsized role in your quality of life. Depletion of your testosterone levels as you get older is a life changer you can't afford. Yet testosterone and its benefits for women have virtually been ignored in traditional medicine. The testosterone powerhouse. Testosterone helps you lose weight and firm up your body by building muscle and changing your muscle-fat ratio. Testosterone also helps build your bones. It's no accident that men are at much lower risk for osteoporosis than we are. Their higher testosterone levels give them an advantage. Testosterone also nourishes your brain, which may be a reason men are at much lower risk for Alzheimer's disease than women. Testosterone boosts energy, too, and has a profound impact on desire and other aspects of your sex life. In addition, this hormone protects your heart, raises your confidence and sense of well-being, and a whole lot more. I find that most of my women patients over age 40 have low testosterone levels, and I consider testosterone the unsung hero of women's health. The drop in testosterone as we age takes a huge toll on women's stamina, appearance, mental acuity, general health, and happiness. Yet it is possible to change this trajectory without a prescription. I see the results every day at my clinic when women come to me complaining of feeling off. Could testosterone be your ticket to looking, feeling, and functioning better? If you're over 40, or perhaps even younger, the answer is probably yes. Most women don't know they need testosterone, and few medical professionals understand the problems associated with loss of testosterone in women. I have written The Hormone Secret as a wake-up call. You can achieve healthy testosterone and other hormone levels with the same strategies that work for my patients. Don't wait till you've got hot flashes, you're stressed and exhausted, your sex life's in a ditch and you can't sleep or focus. Don't accept weight gain and muscle loss, bone loss and memory problems. It's much easier to make small changes now. Give me 30 days to change your life. You don't have to resign yourself to being less than your best. We age because we lose our hormones, not the other way around. I know because I've treated so many cases of hormone deficiency successfully. Yet the Hormone Secret isn't about going to the doctor. It is possible to protect the supply of testosterone and estrogen and progesterone your body does manufacture, utilize it more effectively, and stimulate increased production when appropriate, at home. Through healthy eating timed right, lifestyle changes, and herbs, vitamins and minerals, and supplements found in health food and drugstores, you can look and feel younger, healthier, and happier than you have in years. My protocols also help with weight loss and looking and feeling young after you've balanced your testosterone and other hormone levels. I speak regularly at medical conferences throughout the world to educate other physicians on my methods. My 30-day plan is going to help you change the way you think, move, eat, and supplement, and lose 8 to 10 pounds while you're doing it. I will help you to 1. Evaluate the levels of your own hormones, including testosterone, with self-tests. These self-assessments are the same ones I've used with thousands of patients. Many women discover that their scores are eye-openers. They never knew they had hormone deficiencies. 2. Heal your adrenal glands. Your adrenals manufacture testosterone and many other hormones, but stress interferes with adrenal function. When the adrenals can't do their job right, your hormone levels decline. You lose energy and have trouble managing the pressures and strains of everyday life. Adrenal fatigue, a condition symptomized by body aches, fatigue, nervousness, and sleep and digestive problems, is one of the most common and widely missed threats to our health today. My 30-day plan gives you step-by-step instructions for preventing and treating adrenal fatigue. I will also show you effective ways to slash the chronic stress that stops the adrenals from producing hormones as they should. A new perspective and breathing and other exercises will focus and calm you. I will teach you how to turn off stress and turn on healing and rejuvenation. Incidentally, did you know that your body's response to stress is to produce fat? Yes, stress makes you fat. 3. Detoxify your liver. Your liver works overtime to filter all the pollution and pesticides you're exposed to. A sluggish liver performs below par. The liver also activates testosterone and other hormones and converts them into safe, cancer-protective metabolites. My detox in the 30-day plan, which is different from detoxification of the colon, includes a cleanse that pulls out and disposes of toxins and heals and tones the liver. 4. Eat hormone-friendly foods. Changes in what and when you eat will speed weight loss, boost energy, and can even help you live longer. Nutrients are the raw ingredients for building our cells, detoxifying the liver and healing the adrenals. But our food sources are less nutrient-dense than they were 50 years ago due to pollution, pesticides, and farming practices. I'll show you what to eat in order to compensate, and provide a maintenance guide for life after the 30-day plan. 5. Boost and balance hormones with herbs and supplements. My 30-day plan details specific herbs and vitamin and mineral supplements available over the counter to balance any hormone deficiencies you may have. For example, the herbs maca and ashwagandha help increase testosterone. Vitamin C and vitamin B complex boost estrogen levels in women. I know my program works because I'm in the trenches all day, every day, listening to women's problems and finding solutions that will get the results everybody wants in a busy life. Often, research looks good in a textbook, but isn't true in clinical practice. Or even worse, the findings are so hard to implement that patients won't follow them. Not only have I been able to prove that my plan works, I've found systems, techniques, and tricks to make research ideas doable. For example, it's fine to tell a patient, don't eat sugar, but the reality is that isn't going to happen in the vast majority of cases. People are far likelier to respond to, eat sugar 20% of the time if you must, and avoid it the rest of the time. My practice is divided. I also have one of the largest non-surgical cosmetic and skincare practices in Seattle, where I correct what the world has done to us. My clinic is a national training center for physicians. In addition, patients are treated here for adult acne, correction of sun damage, and facial rejuvenation. I work on transformations from the inside out, but the outside affects our confidence. When you feel good, you look good. When you look good, you feel good. You have a spring in your step and feel a little happier. It worked for me. I know the value of my plan because it's changed my own life. At age 42, I stopped wearing skirts, my favorite things, because I had this little fat pouch at my tummy. I'd had my second child at 41 and gained 50 pounds with each pregnancy. My obstetrician wasn't concerned because I am genetically on the thin side. But I was a resident and up all night every third night, and I had nausea during pregnancy. I ate normally all day, but I'd hit the cheese and crackers nonstop after the sun went down and my stomach acted up. Boy, did I gain weight. I did breastfeed for a year with each child, and that helped me lose the baby weight, but my body looked and felt very different. My percentage of body fat jumped 10%, even though I weighed the same. I wasn't as patient as I wanted to be with my children. I wasn't sleeping well. It wasn't until I balanced my own hormones, without a prescription, that my life changed. Progesterone was my biggest deficiency, and I started off with over-the-counter progesterone cream. Almost immediately, I felt calmer and started sleeping better. I had more patience with my toddlers. I also began to address my low estrogen levels, which were less problematic than my progesterone deficiency, but still caused memory and focus issues. I didn't have hot flashes, though. I followed my own program, which did wonders for my brain. But it wasn't until I added testosterone that I began to realize the importance of this hormone. It was my aha moment. At 47, I thought, I'm doing what everyone else is doing, estrogen and progesterone, and yes, I'm lean, but I'm not firm. I'm flabby. I knew testosterone increased the muscle-to-fat ratio, and I took 2 herbs that boosted my levels. Gone was the fatigue that had lingered even after estrogen and progesterone had been restored, and my sense of well-being, that hard-to-define happy place, had returned. Let's get started. With the measures ahead, you can start taking control of your body, too. You can trim down fast and look younger, wake up your sex life, help your bones, heart, memory, sleep, increase strength and endurance, and so much more. No more doctor's visits to get help for fatigue and lack of energy where you're told you're fine. You can become the CEO of your own health. Part 1. Your Hormones and the Secret Weapon. Chapter 1. Hormones Working Together, the Entire Orchestra. Perk up your ears and imagine sitting next to me as the curtain is about to rise on the opening night of a concert. The orchestra consists of strings, wind, and percussion sections, each tuning up with dissonant sounds. Initially, there is a kind of chaos as orchestra members practice and refine the parts they play in the performance that's about to begin. Yet slowly, the instruments begin to work together in harmony. They become a cohesive unit as the curtain goes up, and the performance transports you. In many ways, your hormones, which control the functions of organs and tissues in your body, are similar to a philharmonic. Hormones must balance and work in concert with one another to create optimal health. In perimenopause or menopause, too little or too much of one hormone causes an imbalance in others and can set off a chain reaction of dysfunction. This imbalance is common because our hormones rarely decline at exactly the same rate and pace. That's why I often hear a familiar story when a new patient comes to my office. I always ask, "Why are you here?" The answer is usually, "I'm not really sick, but I don't have the energy I used to." Frequently, a primary care physician has prescribed an antidepressant or sleeping pills. I point out that the symptoms of depression and insomnia are almost identical to those of hormone imbalance. First, let's check to see if you have any hormone deficiencies, I add. Maybe we can restore hormone balance without adding prescription drugs that have a long list of side effects. I want to know why my patients are experiencing a problem and address that first, rather than to simply treat symptoms. I also explain that our years of perimenopause and menopause are associated with more significant physical changes than at any other time of life except puberty. Loss of energy is only one of the issues. Unless an MD has taken additional education in integrative medicine or anti-aging, as I have, he or she can easily miss the very real problem of hormone imbalance. Why? Because the traditional medical education that I and other physicians received focuses on diseases and how to treat them, rather than on how to create and maintain wellness. Hormone imbalance is not a disease, but it can wreck your quality of life. We live in a society where our hormones are depleted long before the end of our lifespan, and at a much earlier age than was the case for our parents or grandparents. As early as our 30s, our bodies and our hormone levels are no longer in concert. The challenge is to boost some hormones to help them recalibrate and rebalance. I'm going to educate you in how to deal with and treat any hormone deficiencies you may have. It is possible to reboot your biology with a host of nutritional and lifestyle changes, plus supplementation with herbs, vitamins, and minerals available over the counter. I help women do this every day. But first, I want to help you understand the state of your own hormones. What's going on? Just recently, I saw 3 different patients who felt desperate and didn't know what was wrong with them. One, a single high school English teacher, was experiencing premenstrual syndrome, or PMS, for the very first time at the age of 39. She complained of cramps, headaches, and other symptoms, and she felt bewildered by this new turn of events. Another patient, 42 years old, felt guilty about how often she kept losing her cool after priding herself on being a patient, calm wife and mother. "This isn't me," she insisted. The third woman, 45, a successful business executive, was experiencing profound fatigue for no plausible reason. "I used to be a ball of energy. I don't understand what's happened to me," she said. All three women had no idea their symptoms suggested the beginning of menopause. Neither they nor their primary care physicians had made the connection because they didn't have hot flashes and night sweats. Many women, and some doctors, don't associate exhaustion, irritability, brain fog, or unexplained weight gain and other menopausal symptoms with hormones. They conclude, "I'm cranky because my life is busy. I have small kids and I work. Of course I feel crappy because I'm not sleeping. My work is stressful. I'm not losing weight because I'm not working out." Some of these women are divorced. Some juggle a career and the care of elderly parents, or they're stay-at-home moms contending with stresses of their own. Whatever the individual scenario, they just accept feeling off as a consequence of external grievances when it's really about internal disequilibrium that can be fixed, and the sooner the better. What you need to know about perimenopause and menopause. People often confuse the terms menopause, which occurs at an average age of 51 in North America according to the National Institutes of Health, or NIH, and perimenopause, the years leading up to cessation of your menses. Menopause simply means you have not had a period for 12 consecutive months. Perimenopause can start 10 years before you hit the mark of menopause. You may experience perimenopausal symptoms as early as your 30s, and certainly your 40s. Hot flashes and other symptoms are part of menopause because they're directly related to the decline and absence of the hormones estrogen and progesterone. However, it is perimenopause that really affects your quality of life. For some women, hot flashes and night sweats start in perimenopause, the period of time when hormones begin to decline but are not yet entirely absent. Other women don't have flashes and sweats, but do have mood, cognitive, weight, and other problems at this stage. Why is this happening? Your ovaries are the primary organs producing several hormones, including estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone in the childbearing years. Childbearing plays a big role in hormone levels. Pregnancy is 10 months, not 9. Your ovaries and adrenal glands go into a totally different modality at this time, and hormones are different. It takes quite a while for the body to figure out how to get back to normal. For example, hair gets thick and luxurious during pregnancy. You have the same static level of estrogen and progesterone while you're pregnant. The normal cycle of your hair growing and then falling out doesn't occur. It just grows and stays. After the baby is born, hair falls out because your hair has a lot to do with estrogen. Some women feel as if they're going crazy because they see handfuls of hair in the shower. Not everyone has lingering hormone issues after giving birth, but a large number of women do. For nearly a year, you are pregnant, and your hormones are in suspended animation. They don't go through their normal rise and fall. After pregnancy, our hormones rush out, and it's like pulling out a plug. There's nothing gentle about it, and it feels very abrupt. In some women, that crash in certain hormones, particularly progesterone, which drops after you give birth, sometimes causing dreadful PMS, leads to depression. It takes the body a while to remember and kind of grease the gears to return to its cycle. The other problem that is common after childbirth is stress, which depletes hormones. Who is more stressed, more sleep-deprived, more exhausted than a new mom? We used to live in a village where family members, friends, and connections helped us raise a child. We don't live in a village anymore, and we lack the resources to restore our body's systems by having somebody else hold the baby while we take a shower. I remember when I was in residency and had my daughter. I'd go to the clinic early and literally lie on the floor because I couldn't get up. I'd stay there until I had to start seeing patients. I had the physical drain of different hormones needed to produce milk, the drain of lack of sleep, and the drain of being on call. When I first got my pager, I was so excited. Somebody was telling me that a patient was very sick and there were all those issues to be dealt with. I turned to the nurse and said, "You'd better call a doctor." She said, "You are the doctor." At that moment, I realized the responsibility I had stepped into in this long white coat. Throughout my residency, I never got over the stress of being on call. When you're a new mom, you're on call too. Is the baby going to cry while I shampoo my hair, or will she be hungry? And you never relax. Maybe some new moms eat right, but I didn't. I wanted to lose the baby weight and was tired and wasn't cooking nutritious meals for myself. I didn't have to cook for the baby, who was breastfeeding. All the pillars that are the foundation for an amazing house of health: sleep, nutrition, stress management, support, relationships, doing stuff for yourself, didn't exist. For me, it was even harder because my husband worked out of town at the time. He was gone for 3 weeks and home for 1 week, so I was on call 24/7. He was utterly amazing when he was home, but I missed his support for our daughter and the connection we had as a family when he was away. As you enter perimenopause, hormone production declines significantly in the ovaries, and the adrenal glands need to pick up the slack. When menstruation ceases and we enter menopause, the ovaries stop functioning and producing hormones altogether. Our bodies were designed to handle ovarian decline with the adrenal backup system to help maintain our quality of life. Today, however, the adrenals don't work well enough to produce the hormones we need. Our 21st century lifestyle has created conditions that make it impossible for our adrenal glands to thrive, known as adrenal insufficiency. We're left with inadequate hormones to feel, look, and function at our best. The orchestra players. As you will hear, testosterone is the star of the hormone symphony, but first let me introduce you to the supporting cast, especially estrogen and progesterone. Meet estrogen. Estrogen, which is also present in men, although at a much lower level, has a big job to do for women. For example, estrogen regulates female sexual characteristics. In puberty, this hormone is responsible for the growth of curvaceous hips and full breasts. Estrogen also builds the uterine lining during the first part of a woman's menstrual cycle in preparation for possible pregnancy. If pregnancy does not occur, this lining is sloughed off as a period. Estrogen regulates the menstrual cycle, is in charge of the reproductive system, and supports a healthy sex life. The drop in estrogen during perimenopause and menopause plays havoc with your sexuality, causing loss of desire and vaginal dryness, which can lead to painful sex. Add night sweats and hot flashes, and it's hard to feel sexy. Optimal estrogen levels help build bone, support your sex life, help your brain, help mood and sense of well-being, affect the urinary tract, heart, and blood vessels, support skin, hair, pelvic muscles, and breasts, have been shown in studies to protect against Alzheimer's disease. Adequate estrogen levels are also essential for thinking and memory. Memory loss is a normal fact of life as the brain ages, but the loss is magnified when estrogen declines. A University of Rochester study published in 2013 in the journal Menopause sheds light on the effect of menopause on cognitive functioning. Researchers followed 117 women, ages 40 to 60, in various stages of menopause, and found that those who were in their first year of postmenopause experienced far greater cognitive decline and memory loss than those in perimenopause. Hormone loss was seen as the probable cause. Estrogen and surgical menopause. Surgical menopause, also known as a hysterectomy, removal of the uterus, and an oophorectomy, removal of the ovaries, causes an immediate jolt to women's lives as levels of estrogen and other hormones plummet overnight. Studies show that hysterectomy shoves women into full-blown menopause earlier, even if they retain their ovaries. Depression and sexual problems, such as low libido and vaginal dryness leading to discomfort during sex, are common. Cognition and memory often decline, too. The younger a woman is when she has surgical menopause, the faster cognition and memory issues develop, according to a study of 1,800 postmenopausal women. The findings were presented in March 2013 at the American Academy of Neurology. The estrogen trio. There are 3 main types of estrogen: estradiol, estrone, and estriol. They exist in different ratios depending on the stage of life you're in. Estradiol is the predominant hormone of our youth. In the childbearing years, our ovaries produce mostly estradiol, 80%, and the rest is equally divided between estriol and estrone. As we enter menopause, the ratio changes, and we produce predominantly estrone. Each of these estrogens is broken down, primarily through the liver, into other estrogens, and each has a role to play in our health and the diseases that affect us. Estrone is broken down into 3 different components with varying functions: 2-hydroxyestrone, 4-hydroxyestrone, or 16-hydroxyestrone. The first, 2-hydroxyestrone, helps protect us from breast cancer.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?